This conference will now be recorded. This
Upstream,
conference will now be recorded.
it our core center will be having upstream, downstream, and integration solutions. So when we are talking about upstream, the thing is like as we told here before, like we will be beginning with the SLP part, then we will be beginning with the sourcing, contracting, okay, and then the contract compliance will come into the picture. So once it happens like this, within the downstream, we are going to see the P2P. Within the P2P, what will happen is like, we are going to see different kind of scenarios within P2P. See, first scenario is like, the P2O order, which will come into the picture, that is procure to order. The second one is procure to pay, which is also known as B2I over here, that is buying to invoicing over here. And next, once we complete this thing, so within this there will be a lot of configuration steps also, like catalog approvals, then catalog subscription creation, both from the supplier side as well as the buyer side, and then catalog views and all those things will be there, and then approval configuration will be there. You will be seeing the multiple levels of approval over here, and complex approval will be there. And apart from that, what will be there is like we will be having the integration scenarios. Now within the integration scenarios, we are going to see different kind of scenarios where you are going to architect or design the flow, where the flow will happen, whether it will be happening in the ECC part, or whether it will happen in the uh, Ariba part, or whether it will be happening in the Ariba network part. So that is the general overview of this particular session. Okay, so right now, as you can see, this is the screen which we're talking about over here. This screen is called as Ariba Spend Management, which is used by a buyer to log in. The first tab, you can see over here within the tabs over here, these are nothing but the different kind of modules which will be there. So the thing is like, if you want to go into sourcing, you can directly click on the sourcing to look at how the particular tab for the sourcing will look like. Similarly, for downstream, when you will go to the catalog, so catalog is the starting point. Here what you will be doing is like, you will be selecting the items from the catalogs, and you will be creating a PR. So this is how you can move on from one site, move on from one solution to another solution. But what we follow is a very structured way of doing this particular training. Why? Because we believe that uh, always upstream will come into the picture first, then downstream, then integration. Why? Because when you will go for a big implementation project, I'm not talking about very small implementation projects like 4 months or 5 months project. I'm talking about 1 year or 1.5 year project over here. So what will happen is like, all your client will be asking for upstream implementation first. And as you know guys, previously in SAP ECC or SAP SRM, the implementation was based on SAP methodology. But over here, what will happen is like, we will be using not only SAP methodology, but we will be using agile methodology. Why? Because ASAP methodology is for on-premise solutions. Agile methodology is mostly geared toward the cloud solution for implementation. So as you will see, there will be no kind of big bang go live over here. So first, when you will go for a big project, the first 6 months will be there for the upstream. Once the system stabilizes, then your client will decide for the downstream implementation. So once downstream finishes, that means it will take another 7 months or 8 months. Why? Because within a downstream, you will also need to implement integration. Generally, upstream part integration generally does not come into the picture, but we are also going to see the scenario within the integration. But mainly down in a downstream part, integration is going to come. And there, what will happen is like, along with that configurations, you have to also configure the guided buying scenarios over here. So once this has been done, then only upstream and downstream both will be live. So for the whole period, it is almost like 1.5 year it will take, and it will not be a big bang go live, just like we used to see in other SAP ECC or SAP SRM products. Okay, so let us see one by one what are the different kind of tabs over here. Okay, and remember, there will be two kind of user over here within SAP Ariba. The first user is the buyer. Who is a buyer? Let me just tell you, since some of you are from SAP background, so buyers are nothing but the purchaser, who are the employees of the buying organization. Okay, then the second set of users are suppliers. Who are suppliers? Suppliers are the external uh, stakeholders in a buying organization who supply goods and services. For them, what we will be doing is like, we will be using a separate URL. Click on this separate URL over here. That particular URL will be supplier.ariba.com. Okay, just a moment. This is going to be the look and feel of the supplier part. Okay, so always remember, when you log in into Ariba Network, it will be from the perspective of a supplier. It won't be a perspective from the buyer side. Buyer, they will be going to the Ariba Spend Management over here, and they will be carrying out their activities. So for this login, supplier won't have any access, and this login is for only supplier. Buyer won't be having any access on this part. So whenever you will log in as a supplier in Ariba network, you should understand that this is the downstream part in Ariba network. It will come first. Okay, you cannot see any upstream related activities over here. So if you want to go to the upstream related activities, you have to click on the Ariba apps. You have to go to the proposals. So once you click on the proposals, this is where you will, you know, see all the things related to SLP sourcing and other things over here. Okay, just give it a minute. It's loading over here. Yeah. So this is the uh, upstream part of your Ariba network side. So it will not be directly there. You have to click on the Ariba apps and you have to click on the proposal. Then only it will show over here. So here, what you will do is like you will respond to different kind of things over here. Okay. And let us see from the buyer side. So this URL is nothing but the buyer access. Buyer will be accessing this thing over here. So let me just tell you one thing over here, a brief overview of the UI over here. So first thing is like on the left hand side you will be seeing the different common action means like you want to create some transactional document. You can either use this particular thing over here, that is a create option, to create your own uh, transactional documents, or you can directly use some popular links within this common action to create those things. Okay, similarly, next, whatever you have done recently for last 7 or 8 item wise, it will show you automatically that these are the things you have been working on for the last 7 8 times. So it will be there for your quick reference. Same thing is also can be found by clicking on this thing over here. Okay, and then what will happen is like you will be finding a tab called as my document. What do you mean by my document? That means any transaction document created by you. That means it can be a sourcing project, it can be a contract workspace, it can be a PR, it can be a PO. So whatever you have created, it will show within this thing according to the date. Okay, then the option which you will see on the right hand side is called as to do. To do is nothing but the downstream related approval workflow, not the upstream related. Upstream will be there in a separate place, it will be there within your transactional document, it won't be there within this place. In to do, only your downstream related approval workflow will show. That means you can either do the approval or you can either do the a rejection over here. Then what you will be seeing is like you will be seeing the calendar. Calendar will be exactly which month and which year is there, it will be showing, and there it will be showing whatever things is there. Okay, why? Because like this calendar will be integrated with your mostly your to-do list over here. So it will show, okay, this work is pending, you have to do today this work and another work like this. Within the calendar section you're going to check this thing. Okay, and rest of the things over here, these are nothing but customization. So how you can do a customization in the UI? Just click on this bench bar, add content, and once you add content here, it will ask for what do you want to show. Let me just include some report over here in a chart and table format. Click on this one. So it will take you to the different reports which are available. Click on the public reports, or basically click on the Ariba prepackaged report, that is the standard report which will come. Okay, click on this. I want to show how many contract was created by in a owner wise thing. So here what I will choose is like I will see a pie chart, nothing else. Okay, now where it will come, just a moment, it is coming over here. So let me just just a moment. Okay, so it has went over here. So this is how we can configure each of these sub tabs over here. If we want to add something customized report or customized data entry over to be seen specifically, we can directly do it over here by including it from this range bar. Okay, so that is what I was saying, that after this calendar, everything which you're seeing is nothing but customized. Why? Because this has been added over here. Okay, so similarly this has been added over here. So this is how we generally add any report or anything within our UI, that is buyer UI. Okay, so this is the basic things, and why this is called as homepage. That means like your to-do list, all your document, that means all thing regarding approval, and all your document will be visible over here. So this is irrespective of upstream and downstream. Okay, to do is only is downstream specific, but my documents are is upstream and downstream both included. It will be showing over here. So if you want to work directly, or if something needs your attention, it will show up under this tab. But rest of the tabs over here, if you see, they are module specific. Just like if you see, sourcing is for sourcing, contract management is for contract compliance as well as contract. Okay, and then there is a procurement part. It is used for P2P. Okay, but before that, catalogs has to be done. Catalogs is the starting point for B2P, and there would be supply management for SLP related things. Okay, and for other integration and other data loads configurations, it won't be available within these modules. It has to be done from the administrative part. How it can be done? Click on the manage, click on the code administration. Once you click on the code administration, what will happen is like you will get this option called as data loads over here. So what is data load? Data load is the part where we will be loading our data directly into this SAP Ariba system. Excuse me, guys. Now there are two things to consider over here. First of all, if your Ariba is a standalone instance or not. Standalone instance means what? There's no integration. So this is the part which you will use to upload all the data. Second of all, if it is an integrated environment, what will happen on the integrated environment? Within the integrated environment, what will happen is like you don't need to do anything. You just click on this web service status. Over here you'll be able to see the status whether the automated integration techniques which is there, it is coming over here or not. If it is getting successfully completed, no issues. If there's any error, excuse me, so in that scenario what you have to do, you have to go to the export section for that specific task. Okay, and check out what is the error over here. Not export, sorry, import over here. So over there, once you go there, it will show, okay, this is the partial completed. That means partial data upload has been done, but some of them are still having issue. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is like, this is a full error. That means none of the data has been uploaded. So if you want to check where is the issue, click on this one. It will show you, okay, none of the record was created. What was the error over here? The error was a language over here, okay, which is not activated for this realm. Arabic is a language which is supported by SAP Ariba itself, but by default in this site, Arabic is not supported. So that is why when somebody tried to enter the Arabic field value within the CSV, okay, system throw up an error. That's the issue. So what you have to do, either enable the Arabic language at this realm level or change it to English or other supported language and then upload the CSV. So this is the work which we will do over here. If it is an integrated solution, you won't be doing mass data upload from here. What you will be doing is that you will be checking the status. If there's any error, you will resolve the error and you are going to manually re-import it. Why? Because if a automation fails, it cannot be carried forward to the next session of automation. That has to be manually fixed, that issue within the CSV, and then you have to upload it manually to resolve the issue or resolve the error. So that is why we generally looks at the data load in the integration manager. Okay, and like same thing over here means like you will be using the same thing over here for the user creation, for the role creation, everything will be done from here only. Okay, so that is why we will not do it one by one, we will be doing it at one go. Okay, so these are the different kind of administration activities which we are going to see one by one when we will be having our different modules over here. And apart from this, upstream is not having anything like this. Upstream will be based on some other thing. You click on manage, there is a thing called as templates. Click on the templates. So upstream configuration are done generally where it is done in this particular thing which is called as just a moment, which is called as the template. In here only you will be doing your different kind of customization for document, different kind of customization for the task, and you will be setting some condition. Based upon the condition only, what will happen, the task and documents will be controlled over here. So upstream, always remember guys, can be configured only in the at the template level, not at the admin level. And P2P, mostly it will be configured at the admin level. Only thing which will be done from outside is the data loads and approval workflow. Approval workflow is a separate set of thing for downstream. Why? Just a minute. Why? Because it will not appear within a template. See, for this particular task over here, you will see approval will be there. You can directly click on this view task detail and you will see this particular approvals over here. Who is the approver? This is the approver over here. This guy is doing the approver. Okay, so approval will be there within the task, within the upstream part. But within the downstream part, what will happen is like we will be having a separate kind of place to do our approvals. So that place is available where? That place is available over here. Click on this manage. Just a moment. Okay, approval process. And flow will be looking very, very different over there. Okay, just a moment. What is this? Okay, now it came. Okay, so it is going to come like this. Click on this process over there. So it will be appearing like this. Means like how you want to, you know, create a complex approval. You can directly create it over here, and within each of these things you can write a specific set of condition, and based upon the condition only those things are going to happen. So this is how downstream approval workflow will work over here. Okay, so guys, let's have a theoretical understanding of what are the basic submodules which are available over here within SAP Ariba. So let us open that particular thing. Okay, so first thing is like there will be two things. Ariba upstream will be there. So what is a upstream part? You will understand upstream part is the part where you determine the source of supply for your product. Okay, that means what? You want to find out the best supplier who can give you the best bid. Okay, that means like the best price over there along with the quality. So it will start with the SLP process, SLP module, submodule. SLP is supply lifecycle and performance management. And why it is used? Because SLP, if you look at it, SLP is based on what to say. SLP is based on mainly on the onboarding of supplier in the upstream module. So if a new supplier is coming into your realm and they want to do business with you, so how you're going to onboard them? You're going to onboard them through SLP. So in SLP there will be different steps like supplier request, supplier registration, supplier qualification. So through each of this process, what are you going to do is like you're going to check the eligibility of the supplier. Why? Because each of the different buying organization will have their own policy, right? For onboarding the supplier, some company will say please check the financial health, they should be in a good financial health. Some company will say okay, check the financial health of the supplier, along with that also check whether they have been blacklisted in any other company or not. Okay, third, there will be a separate kind of company. Along with that, if it's a production and manufacturing company, they will also ask, we would like to audit your plant and see whether you are subscribing to some quality checks or not, or quality assurance or not. So all those kinds of things, based upon that, what you're going to do is like you're going to put all those points over there and you're going to send those kind of questions related to those topics to the supplier. Supplier will give an answer to each of them, and based upon their answer, there will be your policy will be there saying like at least 7 points out of 10 points must be satisfied by the supplier, then only they can be onboarded. So you will check that things, and then if that particular criteria is meeting, then you're going to approve their request, and then they will become a supplier over here. But if they don't meet that, then you're going to reject it back. So that is the process which is called as SLP over here. Okay, Second thing is like sourcing. So that means once you have onboarded the supplier properly over here, what is sourcing part? Sourcing part is like, let me just give you a very basic example. You want to buy a smartphone. Forget about company, forget about Ariba, forget about everything. You want to buy a smartphone. Okay. You don't know anything about the configuration. Okay. But you know you want to buy a smartphone with, which can take a good pictures and you can play some good games only. Apart from this, nothing is the requirement. So what you are going to do, you're going to go to different shops, right? Two three shops, and there you're going to ask that no bro, I will need some good smartphone which can take good pictures. Along with it, I could also be able to play some good games. So then they will be saying, okay, this is the different phones over here which can support your requirement. So for this you need a good CPU, like Snapdragon 845. Then for this at least you need 4 GB of RAM. Okay. And you need actually two cameras in the rear to take a good picture. So then what will happen is like, you will go to two three supplier. Those supplier will make you understand the different kind of configurations which each of these smartphone is having. So basically what they are doing is like, they are explaining you the technicalities of your product. So once they make you understand the technicality of your products, what next? You will be saying, my target price or my budget is around, let's say, 25,000 INR, not more than that. So show me the things. Now, even for the technical part, you can also specify that I don't need a Snapdragon 845 processor. If it is 835 also, it is good. Okay, I don't need a 6 GB phone, RAM phone. If you are willing to give some phone which is having 4 GB RAM also, no issues. Like this, you can say the configuration. Why? Because now you know the technical information. Only thing which matters is price and the quality. So this is nothing but the sourcing process. So the, assume that smartphone is nothing but your product. The first thing which you're doing is like, you are collecting information, that is technical information from the different you know what to say, from the different sellers. So sellers is nothing but the suppliers. So first process is nothing but RFI, that is request for information. So as you're asking for the technical configurations of your smartphone, that part is nothing but RFI. So within the RFI, what will happen, you will be asking for technical information. Okay. And there what will happen is like, different suppliers will not give price quotation. They will be explaining you the things about what is a RAM, what is a CPU, what is a dual camera, what is the megapixel count over there. So within this stage, you will be gathering technical know-how. Once you understand the technical know-how, based upon that, next process is RFP, request for proposal. That means what, you will be asking, hey, this is my target price, show me some good quality phone, smartphones with this configuration, and within 25,000 INR, not more than that. So here what will happen is like, different vendors will come and they will show you the items with different kind of prices. Okay. So from here, what you're going to do is like, you're going to choose the phone with the best configuration and lower price. That means like, even if it is 24,000 or even if it is 26,000, no matter, but you will choose the best quality phone over there. So that is the end of RFP process. Okay, that is request for proposal. Then there is another process which is called as auction. When you will do the auction, let us say suppose your range is 25,000, but the technical configuration which you have given, the lowest quotation is given around 30,000, that is the L1. L2 is around 32,000. So you're saying, hey, like, why you have to pay 5,000 more for this particular thing? So what you're going to do is like, you're going to take your L1 supplier and L2 supplier in a auction process. So auction process is a what? It's a real-time process where the supplier has to reduce their pricing at each go. That means you will be asking the supplier, hey, boss, like this is too much costly for me, but I am interested. Okay, let's see how much discount you can give so that I can accept your bidding. So when you will be doing auction, when you just want to reduce the price, not for selecting the supplier over here, just for selecting the or lowering the price amount. So that is called as auction. So this auction by default is called as reverse auction. That means price will come down immediately. Supplier cannot increase the price. So it's opposite of auction over here. Okay. So within the auction also, at the last time you will be selecting the L1 bidder. So mostly what will happen is like RFI and RFPs are like, it would be around 90 to 95% of the mainstream processes in big projects. Auction, very few company will be using in Ariba. Okay, so this is the sourcing part. Now once you have done the sourcing part, you have your source of supply, but it does not matter. Why? Because this is just a communication between you and a supplier. Nothing legal has been created out of it. So within the contract management, what you're going to do is like you're going to create a legal agreement between your company and the supplier saying, hey, uh, are you agreeing? Means like within that particular agreement, you will say the supplier has agreed to provide 100 smartphones of this configuration of this model of this company at this price for the next 5 years. Okay, so there you will be putting some e-signature, and once this has been done, this contract will become a active contract. Now, once this become an active contract, that means what? You have a source of supply, and this particular smartphone item is not a non-catalog item. It has to be a catalog item. Why? Because you have find the source of supply. But when it will become a catalog item, when that particular item comes and resides in downstream part. So there is where the contract compliance will come into the picture. So through contract compliance, what will happen is like the contract data which you have created will be moved from upstream to downstream into the catalog region, and these particular items within the contract what you have done, these items will become catalog item. So that means what? Once this particular contract compliance follow through, and this particular contract and contract line items are available within the contract, so anybody can create a PR against a particular contract. So that means what? It's not a new process. This particular smartphone has become a catalog item. So then what will happen is like we will begin a B2B process over there. That is procure to pay process. So within the procure to pay process, as against that catalog, it will be available within the catalog section. Okay. So how it will be appearing? You will be just, you just need to come over here. Okay, just a moment. Let us see this guy is having that particular role or not. Yeah, it will appear within shop by contract. Click on this one, and then just a moment. Okay, I think he's not having the proper role. That is why it is showing like this. But generally, what will happen is like go to catalog, shop by, search by contract. Once you click on that, you will be seeing all your contract line items which has been replicated from upstream to the downstream to the contract compliance. Now you can begin a P2P against each of this contract. But remember one thing, what is the total value of the contract? It needs to be matched. That means if the total value of contract is around 1 lakh USD. So always remember the PR and PO which you're creating, it must be less than 1 lakh USD. It cannot be more than 1 lakh USD. Once you reaches that limit, automatically system will stop you from creating a PR against that particular contract. So that is why contract compliance is there. Okay. So there what will happen is like, in the P2P process, you will be beginning with the PR. Okay. I'm talking about the normal material procurement over here. So PR will be there, then PR approval will be there, and PO will get created. All this is happening where? It is happening in the buyer side, that is in Ariba Spend Management. Then this particular PO is going to be transmitted to the Ariba network. Once this has been done, what will happen is like from the buyer side, you're going to from the supplier side, you're going to create a PO confirmation and advance shipping notification for the PO. Once this has been done, so this ASN and PO confirmation is going to get replicated back into Arivarium. So against that particular ASN, you're going to do the receiving. Now always remember guys, receiving in SAP Ariba is a little bit different. Why? Because there is two options. The first option is doing receiving by amount. The second option is doing receiving by quantity. So when you're doing that, always remember in the integration scenarios, when you're integrating the different kind of scenarios, you should remember ECC only support receiving by quantity, not by amount. So you have to hard stop that receiving by amount by raising a service request. Once you raise a service request, you can just directly stop the receiving by amount part. So that what will happen is, like, if you do a receiving by amount in Ariba and you send that particular data or PR, or sorry, that GR particularly to ECC, it will throw up an error immediately. Okay, so once you have created a GR, the only part which is left is invoice creation from the supplier side. Supplier will log in into Ariba network once again against the particular PO. He or she will create an invoice, and that invoice will come or be replicated into Ariba spend management. So there what will happen is, like, invoice reconciliation will get generated. Okay, before and once the invoice reconciliation get generated, there will be two kind of issue. The first one is like two-way match. The second one is three-way match. If GR is there, so what will happen is, like, three-way match will happen. So all the quantity which is there or the amount in normal standalone scenarios, system will check the PO, the GR, and the invoice. If quantity is enabled, it will check the quantity. If amount is enabled, it will check the amount. If three of the document is having the same thing, so IR will be automatically, its status will be changed to reconciled. But if it is not done like this, then what will happen is, like, still its status will be showing as reconciling, and it will appear as a error issue within the invoice manager tab, within the invoicing tab. So what will happen is, like, invoice manager is going to manually process that particular IR and complete the approval, and then only the IR status will come as reconciled. This is the three-way matching. Same process is going to happen for two-way match, but the only comparison will happen between PO and invoicing. Why? Because in this process, GR is not mandatory, so GR is not there. So that is why two-way match is there. Okay, so once this particular IR is reconciled, what will happen is, like, integration scenario will kick in. This is the normal scenario which I'm talking about. So from here, what will happen is, like, payment proposal will go to SAP ECC. So there, once the payment proposal goes, okay, what will happen is, like, you will be seeing that payment proposal will get generated. From there, payment will happen. Once the payment is happening, then its status will come to the Ariba spend management as well as Ariba network. That is the, invoice is paid, like this it is going to appear. So this is the normal P2P process which you're talking about. But when we will go to the integration scenario, there will be a similar kind of issue. It's like there is a different kind of process which is called as plan driven procurement. This, if you have worked in SRM, you will know this. Plan driven procurement is like, you will have MRP, right, in ECC. So within a MRP, what you're doing planned procurement. Okay, so based upon some formula and demand, all those things, MRP will automatically generate some PR, and those PR will be automatically approved and PO will be created. So once this happens, all these things will happen in ECC side. Okay, then this particular PO will be replicated to Ariba network. So what will happen is, like, here Ariba spend management is not going to come into the picture. Only ECC is going to stay on one hand side. On the second hand side, what will happen is, like, only Ariba network will be there. So within Ariba network, again, the supplier is going to do PO confirmation and ASN. Once this has been done, all this is going to get replicated where in ECC. In ECC, the purchaser will create a GR against the ASN. Then again, supplier will create an invoice, and that particular invoice will be replicated into ECC. So from there on, everything will happen in ECC. The only the status update for, you know uh, payment as well as payment proposal will get updated in Ariba network side. So this process is generally called as hybrid process. Okay, so all of these things we are going to see within the integration scenarios. Okay, but right now, let us know that, okay, for the integration process in B2P, there is a normal process and there is a hybrid process. And in integration, you should know there is two ways of connection, that is direct and mediated. Mediated means what? In between Ariba and ECC, a third party system is there. In general, it will be PI, but in direct connectivity, what will happen is like there will be no third party system. There will be direct connection between SAP, ECC, and SAP Ariba. Okay, guys. So, are you having any queries? If you're having any queries, please ask right now.
So the integration part is in Ariba, like it's in the downstream or how it is? So where
See,
does exactly the integration?
yeah, integration will generally come into downstream and upstream part both. But the
Okay,
thing is like most in big project, as I told you, like in a big project when you will work over there, so what will happen is like upstream will be generally a standalone kind of scenario. Why? Because as we have seen over here, so sourcing, contracting, and contract compliance, through that what will happen is like once you do that cycle, right? For the next
okay.
5 years you're not going to do the same. See, we have seen the process for the smartphone, right? For the
Mm.
smartphone we have done one sourcing, we have onboarded some supplier, we have done the contract, and that particular contract has been replicated to downstream. So that contract validation is for 5 years. So for the next 5 years, for smartphone we are not going to do this process at all. So that is why you will see upstream will begin at the process, means at the first process. It will begin at upstream, that is S to P, that is when we are calling it as source to pay. Only one process will run at the upstream. Once that particular process runs, data will be moved on to the downstream. From there on, what will happen is like multiple P2P process will run. That is why P2P is generally called as operational procurement, and upstream in generally is called as strategic procurement. Why? You will do only one strategic procurement, that is more than enough for multiple years. But operational procurement, forget about years, within months there will be multiple requisition or multiple PO against it. Why? Because it's a operational kind of procurement. So
Okay.
that is why most of the transactional documents will be generating from your downstream. Upstream, if you do this particular solution for, if you create a contract for 5 years, for the next 5 years you're not going to touch anything on the sourcing part or contracting part for the smartphone. So this is how the process runs. So most of your transactional document will get generated on the downstream part. So all your integration will be happening on the downstream side. So that is why I told like at the starting, like most of the time the integration will happen on the downstream part. Now within this, there will be two kinds of scenarios which you will be doing, as I have told, like normal process will be there, hybrid process will be there, and the configuration applies to both. It is not like it has to be only done from ECC side. No, from ECC side it has to be done. That is called as integration with Ariba. Within that there will be a lot of option, you have to configure that. Along with that, from the Ariba side also you have to configure something which will be there within the integration manager. So you will be creating some endpoint, shared secret, all those things you have to also do it from your Ariba side. So once you do this configuration, two configurations, then what will happen is like your integration will come in alive. That means like you can decide which part of the process will run in ECC, which part of the process will run in Ariba. Like this you can decide and it will work on properly.
Okay. So what about the project? Like end of this course, what about the project?
Project means, yeah,
Like see now there is upstream and downstream, right? So what
yeah.
is the main thing that we are going to focus? It is like both upstream and downstream will be doing all the will be checking all those things, or like it is like only one module, or how it is?
No, 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 no. We are going to check everything over here. That means whatever I have shown over here, each point, each sub modules, we are going to check on that. But within that, what will happen is like I will be putting some more emphasis on which I have worked on for the last 6 years. That means like this five projects which I have worked in SAP Ariba. So there I will
Okay.
be very very specific. Like as I will be saying in sourcing, I will be putting main emphasis on which one, RFP, not on RFI. Why? Because RFP is the most used part over there, and most of the client will want to do hell lot of configuration in RFP. So you need to understand RFP very deeply. Okay, so what we will
Okay.
be doing is like we will be going into RFP very deeply. Similarly, what will happen is like contract and contract compliance is there. So you should know about contract compliance. So contract compliance, we are going to go a little bit deeply. Why? Because tiered pricing is also supported in contract compliance, not in contract generally. So within contract we are going to deeply go in contract compliance. In P2P process, what will happen is like there will be approval processes, there will be catalog approvals and as well as catalog configuration. So those things are the main important part in any P2P implementation. So there we are going to dig deeper. It's like we are going to go very much deep on this part. But the rest of the part which is very of less use means like you just need to know some basic things. So what I will be doing is like there I will be telling you, I will be showing you the things, but I will not go deep. But the things which are very much used in big implementation project and most of the client are putting emphasis to, just like in P2P, guided buying is also one of the important things, so you should know the process. So there I will put more emphasis. So what is happening over here is like this course is okay, like from the knowledge wise what will be there, you would be able to know everything, but the things which are very important, I will put more emphasis on that part.
So what about the job role? Like after completion of this course, see now I am consultant for spend visibility, but in the market I am getting calls like we need end-to-end implementation. But in our company,
Ex-
I don't find a team called end-to-end implementation. Everyone has a separate team.
Exactly. No.
Uh,
See, let me tell you one thing over here, Ramya.
yeah.
The thing is like, in SAP Ariba, see, we have worked with SAP Ariba very closely. So SAP
Okay.
Ariba, it is true. It is true. What you have told is true. Means like
Mm.
any guy who is sitting over there, they will have different department like sourcing, contracting.
Yeah.
Within P2P also there will be team
They have
related to
different.
approval,
Yeah.
catalogs like this. It will be there. Okay,
Mm.
but when you will go to the main service provider, that means like we're talking about Deloitte US, KPMG Global, okay, Accenture Global. These companies, they are service provider. They are not product based company, right?
Yeah.
So this company, they will always prefer end to end, you know, uh, Ariba functional consultant who can work in a project end to end. So if you are looking to change your role to as an end to end consultant, I would suggest
Okay.
you have to switch your company. Means like you can again come back to SAP Ariba, but
Uh,
before that you have to switch on to like company like Deloitte
yeah.
or
Yeah.
KPMG. There you can work on end to end project. And in our course, this is not a module specific thing. This will enable, once you complete this course, this will enable you to work in any implementation project where upstream downstream both is there, or even if one is there you can tackle that. So you will be a
Okay.
full-fledged Ariba functional consultant who can work on end-to-end implementation project.
Okay. So you worked on a project from end-to-end implementation you had done.
Yeah, all my projects, see, I will say all my project is end to end. Generally, out of the 5 projects, 4 projects were having integrated scenarios. Integrated means I'm not talking about integration, I'm talking about upstream and downstream, both solution was present within the Ariba. And
Okay.
there was only one project where I did only downstream.
Okay. So this integration, it is like technical thing or what it is exactly?
See, let me tell you from my experience, I would say in many trainer will say that as a technical thing, but from my experience it is not a technical thing. The first thing is like integration is what you're designing the solution, and how the solution will flow from one system to another, and which part of the solution will be done in which system. So basically you're designing the flow across the
Okay.
systems. That's the first thing. Second thing is like once you know how to design this particular flow, what is the advantage and disadvantage of each part of the flow within each system, once you know that, then the second thing is like you should know the configuration. So once you know what is the process, what is the pros and cons within SAP Ariba and within SAP ECC, so the next part is to know the configuration. Once you know the configuration, integration would be the easiest topic which you will handle. Some people say integration is the most complex part within a project. I would say integration part is the most interesting and good part, where you will be using your consulting skills as well as solution making skill to design the process. But you have to get your concepts right. The first thing is like you should know how to design the solution across the system. The second one is configuration. But people generally move it 180 degree over there. That means they will say go to the configuration first, then come to the solution. So if you do like
Okay.
that, means like if you move it differently, so what will happen is like your focus will be only on configuration. But generally our focus should be like this is the process, and for building this process what configuration I'm going to do, I should know that. But if you change the focus 180 degree, what will happen is like you will begin with configuration. Now according to the configuration you're going to design the flow. So that will always be a failure.
Okay. But there is a separate team where they do these enhancements for Ariba buyer, I guess. I'm not
Exactly.
sure
There is a,
about.
yes,
There is a
you're
team.
right over
There is a
here.
consulting team.
Yeah,
They do the enhancements in using Java and everything. They'll be writing some
exactly.
code. So what is that?
Yeah.
That comes under integration.
No, 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 no. That is a different thing. See, like let me tell you one thing. See, all the configuration which we are doing as Ariba functional.
Okay.
Tomorrow, somebody ask you, "Hey, I want a custom field within the PO screen or in the PR screen." So for this, you need to write a code, right? Code is not
Yeah.
available to us. Why? Because we are we are from the service provider or we are from the client team, so we won't be
Yeah.
given the access. So as you know, SAP Ariba will be having SAP Ariba employees generally will be
Mm.
having two kind of access. The first access is like the technical person will have access to the coding, that is the source code, and the functional people from SAP Ariba they will have the service manager access, which we are prohibited. It's like we cannot
Okay.
access that. Okay,
Okay.
so the team which you have talked about right now, that
Mm.
team generally work on a thing called as ER, that is enhancement request. So you go to connect.ariba.com, there is two tiles available over there. One is service request, and there is enhancement request. Enhancement
Okay.
request, when you're going to create, that will be chargeable to the client, first of all. Second of all, those technical guys are then going to write the codes to make your enhancement possible. So those
Okay.
teams, Java teams, which you're talking about, those
Mm.
guys are responsible for delivering the ER. And there is a separate thing which is called as SR, service request. So in this, what will happen is like there will be no enhancement, no customization which will be allowed. But if you're facing some bugs, standard bugs within the solutions, or if you're if you want to enable or disable some feature within SAP Ariba, you're going to raise a service request, and the team will be a functional team over there in SAP Ariba. They
Okay.
will be having service manager access for that part.
Okay. So I got doubt because there are different teams. There is no team called
Yeah,
end-to-end implementation.
yeah.
I had asked my manager also, and she's also not aware of that. She was telling that no, there are separate teams, but there is no a team which does
Mhm.
end-to-end implementation. So that's when I got doubt whether there is some other thing, uh, uh, like above this, there is some other team that does that or what it is.
Yeah, in SAP Ariba, see, you won't get an option to work on end-to-end
Yeah,
implementation.
yeah, that is a problem. Now, if I prepare my resume also, they're asking for
Uh,
end-to-end implementation, but they don't give us a
okay.
chance to work for end-to-end, as everyone are
Okay.
individual teams.
So let me just clarify one thing over here, Ramya. So here we help our participants to gain
Okay,
good knowledge. This will be practical training, of course. That is why see today we went with the theoretical, but next time onwards it will you will see we will mostly working on the system only, either showing you the flow, either showing you the configuration, or either I will be discussing the scenario. So it will be mostly practical one, it won't be a theoretical one. And at the end of the scenario, what will happen is like once every concept is clear to all of you, we will have a
okay,
small session on your CV building that we generally keep over here. Why? Because like most of the time, even I have taken a lot of interview for Ariba positions. So what will happen
okay,
is like people will just write the same thing without checking their strength and weaknesses. So we generally assess people in that scenario one by one, and then what we will be doing is like we'll be suggesting how to write their CV, which points to include, which point to not include within their CV, so that they get a good chance in getting selected for switching their company.
okay. What about the project that we need to explain? Like, if a interviewer asks us, so on what
Mm.
project or what did you do there? So all those, will you be helping us out?
Exactly. So that is what I said. Like
Mm,
the mainstream scenarios which will be there, I will be
mm.
putting more focus on that. I will be saying this kind of requirement will be coming from the client, and you have to configure the solution like this. And at the end
Okay.
also, I will tell you, okay, this points you have to write. So after you have done the training, what will happen is
Mm,
like whatever point you're writing in your CV, you'd be able to justify that point. It's not just for writing, you'd be able to justify that point.
okay. Okay.
Okay.
So there will be
Yeah.
exercise also the each module, right?
Yeah. Exercise will
Any
be there. What
workouts?
Yeah. So what we will be doing over here is like we will be giving you some tasks. Okay, so
Okay.
generally the task is like whatever I am doing within the system, I will be
Mm.
showing you the flow first, right? The first
Okay.
task is to do that. But apart from that, if you need some more advanced task, I'm going to give you separately over there. But let me tell
Okay.
you one thing, with your work, we have seen a lot of participants over here. With your work, you will be seldomly getting time to complete the flow which we will be showing each day over there.
Okay. Okay.
So that flow will be very heavy over there. So
Okay.
completing that flow within 1 week would be a little bit, you know, tough. Why? Because like you are also working, right?
Working. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you give advanced things, so you might get a
Mm.
little bit, frustrated. Like, hey, what Manoj is giving over here and how it will work.
Okay.
Okay. But
Yeah.
if you want that, we can give the, separate task and exercise. But it is always important that whatever flow I am showing to all of you, you
Mm.
practice that at least once, because that would be
Okay.
heavy. That would be
Okay.
heavy over there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All my doubts are done.
Okay, Ramya. Okay. And Suman, are you having any doubts or queries on this part?
Hello, Manoj, can you hear me?
Yes, Suman. We are able to hear you.
Yeah. Manoj, I used to work in SAP MM and WM. I used to
Okay.
work for Accenture and I get
Okay.
here recently I got an opportunity to work in Oracle supply chain management.
Okay.
They trained me for 20 days. Then after that, I was confused about the application because we used to do the transaction codes in SAP MM. Once we
Okay.
create the PO, PR, whatever RFQs and all. Here, we
Hmm.
are going all through the navigation parts.
Exactly.
Yeah, and a little Java and SQL also will be involved when the users will ask
Hmm.
I mean, PRs, I don't know something.
Yeah.
So in that part, I was, I'm purely into functional, Manoj.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it Ariba also same like it's purely functional or do we have any knowledge? Yeah, do I know any knowledge like in Java or something like that?
No,
It
no,
will
no,
be.
no. Suman, one thing is like, Ariba is a cloud solution. It is 100% functional. We are not going to need any technical things over here at all.
Okay, okay. MM will also help for me, right?
See, I would suggest over here, this is a tricky part to say.
Okay,
Why? Because if I say fully yes, then what will happen is like most of the participant, what will happen is like they will compare the process in MM with Ariba. Now the thing is like some of the things will make sense in SAP Ariba, some of the things will not make sense. Why? Because the basic difference between MM and Ariba is MM is a on-premise solution. So you will find a lot of customization option available within the standard only. Okay, but in SAP Ariba, this is a cloud solution. So think of the cloud solution like a building, a
okay,
10th floor building. So within each of this building, you will be having, let's say, 4 flats, right? So in total, 40 flat is there within that particular building. So you will be not getting the full building. You will be getting only a one flat within the building. But if you look at on-premise solution, that is SAP MM, you're building your own house. So when you're building your own house, if you want to decide, okay, I will use lift at the end of my house or at the beginning of my house, or I will construct only 2 floor and I want the floor to be made out of marbles or tiles. You can do that. Why? Because it's only your home over there. But when you will go to a flat, if you say, hey, I don't want the lift, please remove the lift, then other guys will say, no, 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 I need the lift. So this is the main difference over here between MM and SAP Ariba. So I can say it will be a very good advantage that if you're from a MM background, that means you're from a procurement background. So Ariba is also a procurement solution. It's a good thing. But then what will happen is like when we try to learn something new, we must unlearn the old thing and learn the new thing. So this is what my suggestion will be to you. Why? Because like most of the client, most of the participants, they will be, thinking like, okay, it is happening in MM like this. The same thing will happen in SAP Ariba. But that is not the case. Why? Because when we will go deeper into each of this topic, you will understand the difference between MM and Ariba. So I would suggest it would be for your benefit only. That the thing is like, think of as a process flow. From the process flow, if you compare the and Ariba, you will find almost 70% similarities. Okay, 30% will not be similar, but 70% similarities will be there, and it will be very helpful.
Okay, we don't use any transactions here, right, Manoj? Like transaction
No, no,
codes.
no transaction. Yeah, no transaction codes over here. That means, see, over here, what we will be doing is like, we will be just logging into Ariba Spend Management. Okay,
Mhm.
and here, these are nothing but the different modules within SAP Ariba. Here only you will be carrying out those transaction flows over there. So there is no concept of transaction codes, and this is the only GUI which you will get access. As you see, just like you will type in gmail.com like this. Similarly, you will get a particular URL for your Ariba. You will be just typing in that particular URL within the browser, give your user ID, password, done.
Okay, okay, okay. Sure, Manoj, no problem. Let's try.
Yeah, definitely. See, it's not about trying. I will tell you one thing, Suman. I can
Yeah.
guarantee you that the
Okay.
end of this course, you will be having the confidence to not only clear the interview. See, I'm having the confidence. Why? Because I'm doing this for the last 2 years. Okay, you will be not only having the guts to, or confidence to clear the interview. You will be having direct confidence to work on any of the implementation project. And why I am saying this, because in our project, in our training sessions, most of the people, once they complete their training, they will get a new job and they will start working on implementation project. They won't be scared at all. And we will always get a great feedback like, thank you, Manu sir, like, for your you know training sessions, we are able to work over there. So that is why we follow a little bit different methodology over here. You will see the methodology which we follow is a little bit different. So there will be
Are you into
no
consulting
PPT.
also, Manoj?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm from a consulting background only, so
Okay.
I'm having almost 14 years of experience over here. I also began my career in SAP then I moved into SAP SIM. For the last 6.5 years, I've been working in SAP Ariba itself.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I was planning to, after Oracle supply chain management, I was moving to SAP EWM because my all of my friends working in India in EWM. So then one of my friends suggested me to Ariba is better in US.
Yeah.
Yeah, then no
Yeah,
problem.
Ariba is very, Ariba is, if you look at the, Western countries, mostly based out of US,
Yeah.
Europe, they are very much, even I will say, out of the 5 projects, 2 is
Yeah.
US, 3 is
Yeah.
European project.
Yeah,
The,
Europe is
the
good
big four
because I
companies.
used to live in UK. I was in 4 years. I used to work in SAP, MM
Yeah,
only.
yeah,
A lot of calls, recruiters calling me, but I don't have a chance to go there now.
yeah. So, like, I will say, and most of the thing you will see, the SAP Ariba competency will be based out of India only. Why? Because in US you will be having guys over there, but mostly it will be management guys over there. But the real functional guys, they will be sitting out of India only over here. But very less, means like only a handful. We can, even if we do a count, it will be around 50 to 60 consultant who are having proper knowledge in Ariba. Not more than that.
I'm confused like Manoj. I'm sorry to say, but the state university and other university guys are just learning the course and going and working there. And here we are sitting with years of experience. Still, I'm scared.
No, no, no. You don't need to be scared. See, the thing
Yeah.
is like, as I said, as a functional consultant, if you
Mhm.
know the flow, if you know the configuration, and if you know the integration, this three part, if you
Okay.
know, okay, then you will automatically get the confidence. But the thing is like, most of the training will be based out of theoretical things. So if you go to big corporate trainings, or most of the trainers over there, they will be opening a PPT. They will be explaining you the concept theoretically. In our
Okay.
training, you will see there is nothing like that. We will directly go to the flow, then
Mhm.
we will explain the flow, then we will be seeing the configuration, how to do the configuration, and how it will change the process. Once this has been done, then I will be sharing with you theoretical documents. Okay, you can read it on your own time. Okay,
No.
but these things, like flow and configuration. If you understand the flow and configuration properly, then automatically you will have that confidence.
Sure, Manoj. If I get any doubts when I'm practicing at my home in my
Yeah,
home, can I call you or mail you whatever the errors? I mean, if
yeah,
the scenario doesn't work.
yeah, we will support you. And for that we have, we have a dedicated email ID for
Mhm.
Naveen side, as well as I also is having a dedicated email for that. We will be sharing you the email ID also. So if you're facing any issue
Yeah,
related to, like logins, related to process, related to configuration, you just mail me on that particular email ID.
sure, Manoj. Like here also in projects, they'll use I mean, ticketing tools like only, right? Manoj, in Ariba.
Ticketing tool, yeah, ticketing tool will be there, but it will be there only in support. Implementation is a different ball game
Yeah,
altogether.
yeah, implementation is totally different. I'm just asking support.
Yeah, in support, what will happen is, like, for the first 3 months there will be a lot of chaos. Why? Because those 3 months are the hyper chaos support after go live. After 3 months, then what will happen is, like, different companies will be using different ticketing tools. Okay,
Yeah,
but there will be no soulman support. Why? Because this is not a SAP ECC solution. It's a
right.
separate solution. So what will happen is, like, some company will use their own version of ticketing tool. Somebody will buy like Service Next and all those things, kind of thing,
Right,
for
right,
their
sir.
ticketing things.
Sure, Manoj, no problem. Thank you so much.
Yeah. No, no. See, it's my job over there. See, the thing is, like, only we are not doing training over here. And the thing is, like, I am one of your success factors in your career.
Okay.
So I always believe that it's not just only the training. I am enabling the participants over here so that they can learn this new thing and they can move on further up the ladder in their career.
Yeah, please, because I have attended one class last week.
Yeah.
Like in one class, it was 40 members were there. The trainer
Huh.
was telling because each and every guy is asking the questions. Then teaching 40 members is really we can't ask anything in the sessions.
Yeah. Yeah, that will be there. So the thing is, like, we generally keep it light over here. Why? Because, like, in weekdays you will see there will be less people over there. So in weekdays we will be keeping less people over there. In the weekends there will be some more, like, 15 to 20 people will be there within the batch. So
Yeah,
for that also it will be a little bit different structure. It's like it will be like 3 hours rather than 2 hours, so that everybody can ask their queries everywhere. So
yeah,
those thing also, it totally depends upon the trainer. See, over here, someone, I will tell, even if you're teaching with 40 people also, if you know how to carry out the course over there. So what I believe is, like, if your instructor is showing you all the things, it's like all the process, all the configuration, then
mhm.
you will have very simple question or very less question. But if somebody is not showing anything over there, or very less content is there, you will be having a lot of queries.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so that's the thing over here. So that is what I told the same thing to Ramya, that our flow over here, our configuration will be too deep. Means, like, for carrying it forward each and every day, it will take a lot of time for you. You won't be getting any time for any other things to practice over there.
I know. And if you're going into the support, at least we'll have some time to settle down into the project. But if you're directly going to the implementation, then it will be, we need to have good, going with good knowledge is always important, right, Manoj?
Yeah, that is what we are here for. So that is why I told you, support project is the secondary thing. Primary thing over here is, like, this is geared toward Ariba implementation. This is geared to the guy who want to become, guys over there who wants to become Ariba functional consultant,
Mhm.
and doing implementation project. So it's a little bit of advanced thing. Why? Because, like, we always like to enable the participants so that they can start working in implementation project. Support project also, I will be showing you what kind of issue you will be facing, and for that how to resolve this. But it will come later. But first we are going to discuss the implementation things only over here.
Sure, Manoj. No problem. Thank you so much.
And
Yeah.
Manoj, let the language be in a basic level, like using a
Mm.
complicated words. Mostly, I'm not aware of about other things, so I'll not understand it easily. Now, how you
Okay.
thought regarding this laptop and everything, that was fine
Yeah.
actually. I was understanding the
Yeah.
process. But if few words in Ariba, what they use is completely something different. We will not get to
Yeah.
know what exactly, and our knowledge will get stopped. So we'll be thinking
Yeah.
about that, and the next flow will not be good actually.
Let me tell you one thing over here, Ramya.
Mm.
When I am teaching over here, most of the participants they will say that Manoj, teaches in very simple terms. Even if some
Uh,
technical terms is there, I will come to the technical terms later on. But first, when I'm giving you the example, I will be giving you some basic example, like you are going to the shop and you're buying all these things. So this
yeah.
is my trademark over here. So I will be explaining you the process to all of you in very simple terms, and then at the end, then I will be saying this is the technical term for this thing, this is the
Uh,
technical term for that thing.
okay. Yeah. Mm, that is only my concern. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it won't be there. You trust me from that part. See, it won't be there. Why? Because that is why I understood why. Because when we are doing the sourcing and contracting part,
Mm,
we were using very basic terms over there, that so that every people can
can
understand what
understand.
we are saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, man.
Okay.
So when will the batch start? Like weekdays? At what time?
Weekdays, weekdays, see, it will be starting by 7:15 or 7:30 a.m. IST. So it depends upon. So if you are agreeing on 7:15 IST, a.m. IST, we will start on that time. If you want 7:30 a.m. IST, we are going to start on that time. Each batch will be like, each day we will be having 1.5 hour session. So why? Because we are aiming to finish this particular batch within 1 month, so that within 1 month at least 42 hours to 43 hours get completed, and whatever the content is there, even if it does not complete within 43 hours, we are going to stretch it until unless the content is not done.
Okay, so I log in at 7 o'clock actually. So that is the problem.
Okay, you log in, where do you log in?
I go to office. So
Yeah.
my login time is at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Okay, so in that scenario, just have a talk with Naveen on that part. Okay, so
Okay.
Naveen might arrange something over there, so we
Okay.
can decide on that part later also. Okay, but
Okay.
first
Okay.
have a talk with Naveen on that part.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Okay, so this is the
Yeah.
thing, Ramya and Suman. So
Yeah.
it's not a issue over there. The thing is like what we do over here is like we try to be a little bit different from the other guys. So that is why you will see the methodology is unconventional, but this gave us result every time. So that is why we follow this kind of methodology over here.
Sure, Manoj. In each and every class will get the recording, right, Manoj?
Yeah, definitely. Naveen will be recording that, and I think he will be converting it into MP4. So
Okay.
for that, it takes 2-3 hours to convert the recordings file, because it will be 1.5 to almost 1 hour 45 minutes. So it will
Mhm.
take some hour or something like that to convert. Once it converts, Naveen is going to upload all this thing within the Google Drive, and and he's going to share that particular Google Drive link with all of you.
Okay, okay, sure. And I have
Okay.
one more question, Manoj. Ariba, before Ariba is just Ariba. Now it's saying that Cloud Ariba. What is the difference? Is there any more
See,
features in Cloud Ariba?
See, till 2012, when Ariba was not a SAP company, Ariba was mostly into on-premise solutions. That means Ariba will also come like SAP ECC. You will install SAP Ariba within your server. But in 2012, when it was bought by SAP Ariba, SAP. So what happened was like at that time only, I think not at that time, 1 year ago from that in 2011, Ariba was thinking of making their cloud solution. Based upon the cloud solution only and Ariba network capabilities only, SAP bought Ariba. And then when SAP bought Ariba, within a short span of 1 year, SAP told like within 2015 we are going to, you know, make our on-premise solution as obsolete. We are only going to deal with Ariba Cloud solution. So that is what it is happening right now. There is no on-premise solution. That means no new on-premise solution. And SAP Ariba has told specifically that within 2020, you have to wrap up your, on-premise. Why? Because we are not going to support that also. We will be only in the cloud section.
Okay, okay. In Oracle also, I heard that like it's supply chain Cloud Fusion they are asking these
Mhm.
days. So
Yeah.
have a question like I mean both clouds are same.
Yeah, no, those are different. And let me tell you, SAP Ariba is the market leader in cloud procurement solution. Nobody, even the next competitor, what we are seeing is Coupa. They are also not able to come near SAP Ariba. Yeah, you can just have a look at the Gartner report which got published this year only. Within the Gartner report, you will see that SAP Ariba is by default a you know leader in Ariba in procurement solutions, procurement cloud solutions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Manoj.
guys. So I think most of your queries has got solved over here. Ramya, I would suggest you just have a talk with Naveen on the timings part. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So just have a talk with him. Then we can decide on further on that. Okay.
Okay.
And so let's conclude our session for today. What we are planning is like by Thursday next week, okay, or Wednesday or Thursday, either of this day, we are
Mm,
going to start our session.
okay.
Okay.
So if I
Yeah.
go to office and take the training, it will be
Huh.
like everyone will get to know that I'm getting trained. That is the problem.
Okay. Okay. So in that scenario, see, Ravi, let me tell you one thing over here. So we will also go to the office and we will do that. So you are having laptop or you are having desktop?
Yeah, laptop. It's a laptop.
Okay. So only thing is like what you can do is like you can directly get a headphone over there. So
Yeah,
the thing
I
is
have a
like I have
headphone.
seen, yeah, I have seen a lot of guys they are attending training over there. Only one or two guys is going to know, but that also if if you keep it on speaker, if you keep the laptop on speaker, then everybody will come to know, oh, you're taking training. But if you use a headphone over there, so most of the time people will generally not notice, and you can do
Yeah,
that
if
over
that is
there.
communicated to my manager, she will reduce my performance review. That is a problem. She'll tell that, okay, you're planning to leave, so I don't need to give you review. So that is a
Yeah,
problem. Okay, I'll talk to Naveen and I'll let you know.
yeah. You just have a
Yeah,
talk with them.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Y-
Thanks, Ramya.
Yeah, thank you, Manoj.
Yeah, thanks, Suman. So
Yeah.
let's conclude our class today. So we are planning to start by Wednesday or Thursday next week. Exact date and time would be confirmed by Naveen. Okay, so let's wait till this weekend. Okay, I think by Monday or Tuesday, Naveen is going to send you a mail on the batch timings. Okay,
Okay.
No.
yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you, guys. Let's conclude our session for today.